Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hail Yes podcast. I am your host, Hailey Gamba, and how is everyone doing today? Happy New Year, everyone. Oh my God, I cannot believe it is 2026. If I'm being honest, I feel like it just came out of nowhere. There were just so many weeks of so much going on. I felt like the chaos was overwhelming me just a little bit. And I also got sick at the very end of 2025. What a way to wrap up the year, okay? Like that was something else. I needed the rest. I needed the recovery. I needed to just catch up on my shows. I was watching Stranger Things. It was perfect. It was honestly perfect. So yes, I didn't feel well, but it was kind of amazing. I hope that your 2026 so far has been amazing and you guys have been hitting the ground running with your goals and your discipline and just doing all the things that you set out to do. I know for me that my start to 2026 was quite chaotic. I feel like it was a lot of catching up. So 2026 is the year of the horse, which, a little fun fact, that is my favorite animal. I have it on my phone, okay? My phone case is horses. I love this year already. Even though I am prepared for anything because I do not believe in, only thinking you're going to have perfect moments and trying to convince myself of that, I am also not going to be a cynic. I am someone who has the armor, the resilience, the ambition, the power, and the boldness to get through anything. But I am putting out the good vibes that this is going to be an amazing year and that we are going to see a lot of transformation and evolution. I think I've always grown every year, but there's something very new about the feeling I'm having in regards to 2026. So I have no idea what it's going to be yet, but I have a few ideas and I'm excited for it to all really come into fruition and for me to really step into that role, whatever that is. If you are watching this on YouTube, I would absolutely love to hear what the word of the year is for you. My personal word of the year, after kind of thinking about it, after vacillating with it and realizing that I didn't necessarily need one, what kept coming into my mind over and over and over again was the word joy. Because that is what I want. And I realized in that moment, it wasn't so much that I wanted to find a word of the year to embody, but more so a word of the year to feel. I want to feel joy, happiness, bliss. That is something that is important to me. So whether that is in love, in connection, in my career, with my family, with my dogs, in my home, whatever it is, I want to feel joy. I want to be able to be present in that and to really revel in it. So please tell me what your word is and why. I would love to hear from you. Now, a little recap of my New Year's because it was a movie. As per usual, I love to share little tidbits of my life with you guys because if I don't tell you, who am I going to tell? It's going to go into the journal and some things need to be shared. I had the most amazing New Year. Like, it was incredible. It was exactly what I needed. So a little fun fact for those who don't know this, I have 3 to 4 restaurants that I frequent in New Jersey. And there's a restaurant that I love that is out here that has always been so amazing with their hospitality. They're so generous and they're so kind. Not only is the staff wonderful, but just the overall atmosphere and ambiance is beautiful. And it's this place called Luco. I've posted it a million times on my Instagram. You guys know about it if you follow me on there. But it's just this gorgeous Italian-American spot that really has a little bit of everything. And I knew I wanted to spend New Year's there because I didn't want to go to New York City. I didn't want to do anything that was crazy or chaotic or required a lot of driving. And nobody that I knew was having a New Year's party. That being said, I knew I wanted to go there. I knew I wanted to do dinner first and then drink after. So that's exactly what I did. I went with one of my closest friends. We had the most amazing time. So a little background about how I even got this reservation. I was sitting at Luco one evening in December, and I was telling the manager that I wanted to put my name in for a table for New Year's. And he was like, Hailey, it's booked up. There's a million reservations. You're not going to be able to get a table. And I was so bummed out because I knew that I wanted to go there. And he was like, all right, let me see if I can make something happen and I'll get back to you. So he was able to tell me that I had a 6:30 reservation, which in my opinion is a little early. I would have preferred an 8 p.m. dinner reservation, but I took it because I'm I need to be there. I want to be able to do this with my friends. I had planned to go with 4 people. It ended up just being 2 of us, but I wanted to really plan this in advance so that I had a table and I was ready to just set myself up for the night. So he was able to get me that table, but the problem with that is that you only get the table for 2 hours before they give it to another person. So I needed to be there by 6:30, eat my dinner before 8:30, and then transition to the bar. So I was getting ready with my closest friend. We were here. We were having so much fun. I was doing her hair. She was straightening mine. We were just like getting ready next to each other, putting glitter on our eyes and making ourselves look beautiful. For those who follow me on Instagram, you guys saw my New Year's look. I went all out. I usually don't really do heavy eye makeup or anything crazy, but I do it for New Year's, okay? We are going to bring out the glitter. And I promise you guys, by the way, we were getting ready very early. Like I want to say we both got in the shower at like 4 p.m. We looked at the clock and it was like 7 o'clock. So now we're 30 minutes late to our reservation and I'm like, holy crap, we need to go. So we're like driving there quickly and trying to get to our reservation. And I'm getting a phone call on my way there being like, hey, your table is ready and we're going to have to give it up to someone at 8:30. So are you going to get here soon? I'm like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we'll get here soon. So we already planned exactly what we were going to eat so that we could just be quick. I didn't want to hold them up. I felt so bad actually. And we sit at the table. Everything was beautiful. We got a great table, like probably one of the best tables in the house if, you ask me. It really had a great view of everything. And I sit down and the manager walks up to me and he's like, listen, I moved the person that was supposed to sit here after you to a different table. Don't worry. You're going to have the table for the rest of the evening. Check. I knew when that happened, I was going to have a good night. When things just go as planned and you're not being a nuisance, you're not being rude, you don't have like these weird expectations, but you go into things graciously and you just feel like, okay, I'm going to bring the good vibes. It always comes back to you. There was just some sort of magnetism in the air, guys. I was attracting all the good things, all the abundance. So me and my girls sat back in our seat and we're like, we're going to have this table for the rest of the night. I can't wait. So we ate. I had the most delicious tuna steak. It was so good, guys. And we had like little bites. We had wine. I was sipping on wine all night. I wasn't doing anything crazy. It was perfect. And then it starts to transition from like a restaurant vibe to more of like a club lounge vibe, like a bar where people are being more social, everyone's walking around, and it gets very mobbed in there. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it was mobbed. It was great, but it was mobbed. So we're sitting at our table and people are like kind of standing around us. So I'm like, all right. Literally the server asked us if we wanted to close out our tab or just keep it open and she'll get us our drinks rather than us having to go to the bar and order drinks because that might have taken a little bit longer. But something in me told me to just close out the tab. I'm like, listen, there could be men here that want to buy me a drink tonight. I know me, I'm not going to probably drink more than I've really been drinking. I'm not trying to get like super drunk. I got super drunk last year and it was not the vibe. I wanted to just keep it cute. I wanted to be like a little silly, but that was that. We closed out the tab. We were just kind of vibing and it was time to get another drink. And it was like 10 p.m. at this point. I told my friend, I'm like, I'll go get us wine. I'll be right back. So I go over to the side of the bar. This is where the story gets juicy. I go over to the side of the bar and one of my favorite bartenders are there. He's like a super nice guy. I feel like everyone there is just so great. Like the hospitality, the people, the atmosphere. It's just chef's kiss. Like 10 out of 10 I would recommend to anyone. I was like, hey, I'll do 2 glasses of Sauvignon Blanc. And because it was so mobbed, guys, the glasses were kind of like still being cleaned and coming in. So a lot of the times on New Year's, restaurants will either order more cups or glasses, or they'll switch over to like plastic. Now at this place, they don't switch over to plastic. They just have like a system going where they like wash a lot of things at once and then bring them again. But he was looking all over for a wine glass. I'm like, oh, I have a wine glass at the table. No worries. And I was going to go grab the wine glass and bring it to him. But before I could even do that, he goes, hey, whatever, Happy New Year. Cracks open a bottle of wine, hands it to me and says, Happy 2026. Hello. Oh, don't think I wasn't walking around that restaurant like my shit did not stink, okay? I was holding my wine bottle, walking around saying hello to people I didn't even know, all because I got a free bottle of wine. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I will never let them live that down. I'm going to probably talk about this till I'm blue in the face. You would think that I've never had anything nice done for me ever in my life the way I acted. I just love when people get it, when people are just a vibe. And something about that energy was giving, I get it. She's here. She spends money. She's here all the time. She's loyal. Here, have a bottle of wine. And it was my favorite bottle of wine from that place. It was the Crossings New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Delicious, crispy. It has a little bit of a punch to it. When I tell you I had the night of my life holding that wine bottle, I was making people take swigs of it. That's probably, not the smartest thing to do with all of the sickness going around, but I was living it up. So that was my New Year's, everyone. I had the best time. I was dancing all night. The DJ, I believe, was Hispanic. So towards the end of the evening, it was all Spanish music. And y'all know me, I'm Dominican by association. So I was doing my big one, dancing on the dance floor, having the time of my life. It was perfect. It was the perfect conclusion to 2025. And I was bringing in that good energy, that good vibes, and something about getting that free wine and not having to buy a drink. And I even got free dessert that night too. I got free tiramisu. I was having the time of my life. It really felt like, oh my God, I am walking into my most abundant year yet, where I am attracting all of the beautiful vibes. I am radiating something that is either intoxicating or special, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to literally take that as a sign to continue doing whatever the heck I've been doing. So again, shout out to Luco. Shout out to John George, the owner of Luco. Love your restaurant. Everyone go and try it out. You're going to love it. The food is good. The atmosphere is good. The people are good. It's amazing. So big shout out to them. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Going into 2026, instead of rebranding and rebuilding a new version of yourself, what if you started to release and let go of past versions of yourself that have been weighing you down? Therapy has always been a useful tool for me to get more clear and intentional about my goals. It allows me to release emotionally, mentally, and energetically. And not necessarily always to become someone new or change who I am, but to release what is no longer serving me. BetterHelp makes it easy by matching you with a licensed therapist that you can talk to anytime. And if your match isn't right, you can switch at any time. You can't step into a lighter version of yourself without leaving behind what's been weighing you down. Therapy can help you clear space. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/hailyes. That is better, HELP.com/hailyes. Now, let's get into today's topic. I got a lot to talk about. We are going to be doing the ins and outs of 2026. I was so excited to do this because I was seeing this trend on TikTok. People do some really funny ones. People do some luxury ones that are dedicated to like hair and makeup or wellness or just anything. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to read my own personal list. Am I going to provide context for some of them? Some of them require little to no context, but this is my ins and outs of 2026. Some of these things I'm going to be doing, some of these things I'm going to be ditching, and some of these things I want other people to ditch and do, if that makes sense. So some has to do with me and some has to do with the collective, if you know what I'm saying. So let's get into it because my list is long and I'm so excited to share what I wrote. Okay, so I decided to just do it going ins and then outs. The first in that we're going to say is I love lifestyle aesthetic / photo dumps / candids. Let's get back to the days where we're not being so curated with our posting and trying to make ourselves seem like somebody that we're not. No, there is something so beautiful about authentic living, lifestyle. Even if somebody is living a luxury lifestyle, I want to see it. I want to see the intricacies. I want to see the beautiful life, the bags, the food you're eating, the shoes, what you're doing in your day-to-day life, little aspects of your home. Show it, post it. I love lifestyle. Lifestyle is so good to me, and I plan to post more lifestyle and candid stuff in the year 2026. Okay, the next thing is house parties, okay? I love the idea of bringing people into your home. If you have an apartment or you have a home, start hosting again. Hosting has become a lost art. Not sure why. I think it's a little bit because it can be overwhelming for people. I think also a lot of people don't have like a good group of friends. So that could be like a difficult task to do. But a house party or hosting doesn't always have to be a bunch of people. It could be 2 to 3 people. It could be family. It could be your cousins. It could be anyone. So bringing back hosting and just kind of planning parties that are themed. I love it. I'm actually doing a Valentine's Day party and I'm so excited because it's going to be like pajama themed and I can't wait to have all of my girls in one room. The next in is dating generous people. We are not dating people who make it hard for us to enjoy ourselves, to enjoy the moment, for us to get a date out of them. No, we are dating generous people all of 2026, people who are givers because I'm a giver. So a giver should meet a giver. People should be practicing reciprocity in 2026, okay? We should be dating people who want to give us a beautiful experience, who want to show us really amazing things, and that makes dating so much more fun. So dating generous people all of 2026. It's not always about being rich, but it's about being generous. The next in is hobbies. Let's start doing hobbies again, whether it's reading, painting, yoga, Pilates, walking, doing something that fuels your heart, that makes you feel alive again. Hobbies are a beautiful way to nurture your adult self. I think it becomes something that becomes further and further away and more distant the older you get, because we have those mundane day-to-day lives where we're working, we're overwhelmed with that. We have children or husbands or whatever. The hobbies that people will say that they have is like drinking on the weekends. That's not a hobby. That's an activity. Let's go back to bringing hobbies into our lives and enjoying things just for the sole purpose that it gives us life, that it makes us feel good. So I know for me that one of my hobbies is painting. I've talked about this a lot. I want to bring that back into 2026. I also think going to the gym could be a hobby, but I have learned to transition it from hobby to just lifestyle, because I don't want it to feel like it's something that I'm doing as an intentional way to bring me joy, but more so as an intentional way to make me feel like this is a part of my life because it's supposed to be there. But that's just me thinking and overthinking as per usual. But yeah, hobbies. Let's bring it back into 2026. Sauvignon Blanc. That's going to always be an in for me. So Sauvignon Blanc 2026. When it pertains to brands, YSL, Fendi, Chanel, all of 2026. Yes, I said it. Those are my luxury brands, and I love what they make. I love the curations, the pieces. They look amazing. They're very girly. They're very feminine, and they're timeless. I said it. Bodycon and body hugging dresses. Bring that back into 2026, especially the women with the figures. Ladies, we are wearing bandage dresses again. We are wearing body hugging material. It looks so good. It's so sexy. It's perfect for a night out. I know for me, it's very flattering on my figure, and I love it. I think it looks really good, and I notice that more people are bringing it back into fashion. I've been seeing a lot of like the Herve Leisure dresses and even just some Fashion Nova dresses that look real good, that create that illusion of like being super sexy and curvy and just perfect. As long as you're getting material that looks really nice and it sucks you in all the right places, I just think that those pieces are actually very timeless and they look really good on a lot of figures. The next in is snack plates. I love snack plates. Let's bring it in, okay? Whether it's cheese, pickles, peppers, cucumbers, caviar, which that's also on my ins. Anything, get the snack plate going. I feel like girl dinner is such a vibe. Bring that into 2026. It's just giving what it needs to give. As someone who does not like to decide, I have decision fatigue, snack plates are perfect because I can just put whatever I want on the plate and I don't have to stop myself from having anything. Hey, if I want a little salty, put a salty on the plate. If I want a little sweet, put a little sweet on the plate. If I want something that's a little sour, put it on the plate, and it all can go on the plate, and it looks good and it tastes good. And a lot of the times you can make your snack plates very healthy and they could be tailored to your wellness and your fitness era. Another in for 2026 is wearing heels. Ladies, whether it's a kitten heel, a pump, a heel in between, let's get the heels going, okay? I am sick of seeing the sneakers. I was out one time with one of my friends and we were at like this place that has like college kids and maybe a little bit older. Like these are people that are like maybe 23 to 26. And so many of the ladies were wearing sneakers in an environment that should have had heels on. And I'm not judging, but I'm judging. I think that there is a time and a place for a sneaker, and it's usually the gym. It's usually a daytime errand. It's not in an evening situation. Let's bring back dressing up to go out at night. I am sick of seeing the baggy jeans and the sneakers. I don't want to see it. It's not appropriate and it doesn't look classy in my opinion. So bring back the heels. If it hurts your feet, ladies, walk in them more. Find a heel that looks good. I have so many different heels. Some hurt my feet, some don't. You got to break them in a lot of the time. Sometimes you have to take them to the shoe repair person and they'll stretch them for you. They'll create something maybe on the sole to make them more comfortable, but get the heel. Get the heel, ladies. Wear them, please. I don't want to see any more. I don't want to see any more sneakers in the club or in the restaurant in 2026. Another in for 2026 is recapping your friends on your evening through voice messaging. There is nothing like sending a voice message to a friend after something crazy went down. There is nothing like it. A text cannot do it justice. You got to have the passion, the energy, the excitement. The way that I have told a lot of my best friends' stories through voice messages, and I saved all of them so I'm able to scroll up and re-listen, I crack myself up. And it's just so interpersonal. It's so fun. And it's a great way to recap your friends, especially if you don't speak to them every single day. I really do prefer creating that vibe. Of course, I'm big on phone calls. I think that calling your friends and seeing them in person is great. But if you can't do either of those things because there's a lot going on, send that voice message. While you're like about to get in the shower, send it real quick, or about to drive off, or you're leaving somewhere and you're like, girl, let me tell you. Or right before bed, they're the best. They are the best. And I love receiving them. I'm like always on the edge of my seat, like, what's next? No way. Stop it. It is just so freaking good. And I also love like when you send a voice message and your friend is listening to it and they're responding to parts of the voice message in text and you're like, no way, girl. He did what? Oh, hell no. And you can just see where they're at in the story based off of their text. It's so funny. Okay, the next in for 2026 is spontaneous plans, only if it's like a once in a lifetime experience. I just couldn't get behind the spontaneous plans, period. It had to be a once in a lifetime experience because I am not a spontaneous person. I'm a very scheduled, regimented person, but there's that one occasion where somebody will pitch something to me and I'm like, I can't turn that down. A little story time. I was out with one of my guy friends and we were kind of catching up and we were getting a drink. And I don't know what possessed me to go through my messages in my hidden request folder, but I went through it and a music artist reached out to me and was like, hitting me up, and I answered right away. And they answered me right away. And long story short, this music artist invited me to a concert that they were performing at with other performers. And I knew that particular day I had a lot going on because I was in the middle of Hailey. I was recording a lot and I was kind of vacillating if it was a good idea. But then I thought to myself, when am I ever going to be presented this opportunity again? Like, this is not something that happens every day. It's a spontaneous thing, but it's such a once in a lifetime experience. And guys, it was so amazing. It was so tea. It was very tea. I was backstage. I saw a bunch of artists, met them. I was alongside the side stage while the performance was happening. I was able to be at the nightclub appearances and things like that. It was a moment, it was a time, it was a vibe, okay? I was not gonna be thinking like, oh, I don't wanna give him the wrong idea. And I used to be an overthinker about things like that because I would fear that if I did something, it would make me lose someone. No, whether or not things worked out between me and this person or I ever heard from them again, why would I turn this experience down? This sounds like a time. And I went and I had the best time and I do not regret it. It was so fun. The next in for 2026 is traveling with friends or vacations. Let's bring the vacations back. I want to see the fits. I actually want to be a little bit of a voyeur to y'all's vacations. I want to watch on my phone and be like, oh my God, what are y'all wearing? What are y'all eating? Did you get flowers? Did you get a gift? What's going on? Like, I want to be having a parasocial relationship with people who are doing that. And I also want to do it myself. Obviously, I don't have a bae right now, but who knows? Maybe tomorrow I will. I love the idea of traveling with friends and doing vacations. So let's bring that into 2026, ladies. Okay? We are not sitting in the house, especially in anyways, okay? Another in for 2026 is opinionated people and taking a stance. I think that a lot of the years prior, I've always been very neutral, trying not to talk about certain things. I was afraid of my voice being something that would hurt other people. And I've learned that there is a way to articulate certain things, but I am very much someone who is proud of my values, my morals, the things that mean something to me. And I am very opinionated about a lot of things, and I want to welcome that into 2026. I don't want to walk with fear. I think it's very difficult when you have a media career or your career is helping people and you're afraid of offending others, but that's not my goal or my mission. I'm allowed to feel how I feel without fear of offense. So that is something that I really want to work on in 2026, is being very open and opinionated about where I stand on certain issues, what I feel, how things affect me, even things about my own life that I think really have shaped and molded me into who I am based off of my experiences. I want to just be more open. I really actually love when people are opinionated, even if I don't agree with them. I am okay with not agreeing with people, but I do love people who are authentically walking in their purpose and they're not afraid of ruffling feathers by sharing their own stance, morals, and values on certain matters. Another in for 2026 is smelling delicious, obviously. Let's get back to wanting to smell delicious and look like we smell delicious. Skincare, body care, perfume, getting your facials, taking care of everything. You can look like you smell delicious if you do all those things. Another in is building good credit and educating yourself on financial literacy. I think this is the year where we are going to perfect our money goals and expand and learn more and try to figure out a way to create more abundance in our life, whether it's bringing in more revenue, whether it's outsourcing, whether it's investing, whether it's saving, budgeting. getting more specific and knowledgeable about these things. And I think for a long time, I would be more focused on the making of the money and not so much all of the other stuff. And this is the year of financial literacy for me. I need to get better at understanding things based off of what I notice I fall short with. So that is a huge thing for me in 2026. And lastly is shopping sales and finding things that are good quality. Just because something is expensive doesn't mean that it's good quality, doesn't mean I'm going to love it, doesn't mean it's going to be a part of my wardrobe in a great way. I want to purchase things that are good quality, that look good, and a lot of the times that are discounted or on sale or secondhand. That's in all 2026. Okay, finally, we can do the outs. I'm so excited. The outs of 2026. Here we go. Okay, sugary cocktails. I love them. I really do, but I'm kind of done with them. They have made me very bloated. They make me feel very sick. I remember I had like 3 or 4 lemon drops one time with my friend, and that entire night I was like gagging in my sleep. Like I was laying in bed and I was like, because I just felt so sick. Sugary drinks, horrible. Can't do it. They taste good, but they end up not feeling great. So sugary drinks are out. Sauvignon Blanc is in, okay? The next out is overspending or impulse buying. We are managing our funds a little better. We are intentionally buying. We are creating a list, a wish list, and purchasing things that make sense. The next out is excessively napping or waking up late every day. I used to be the queen of naps when I was in high school. I would always nap after school. It was like something that I did religiously. And I feel like I missed out on a lot of things because of it. Granted, I was a nap queen and I didn't care. But bringing that into adulthood was a no-no for me. So I don't do that now. Occasionally I will like take like a power nap, but it's really difficult to cultivate that routine. So if you are an excessive napper, I would try to figure out how you can either go to bed earlier, wake up more efficiently, or try to do a power nap of some sort, which I think is a great way to get a little bit of rest without overdoing it. So that is something that's big for me. And another out is just waking up late or irregularly. I like to wake up early and efficiently and on time and the same time. Even as someone who works for myself, I don't have anywhere to be in the morning, but I feel like I have to be up for myself and up for my home and kind of getting the day started. And I just feel like you get more done when you wake up early. The next out is rushing. I do not like being rushed and I don't like rushing. If I notice that I'm already late, I'm going to allow myself to be late. I'm going to still take my time. I'm still going to try to get things done efficiently, and I'm not going to let myself leave the house without what I need. I hate rushing. I hate the feeling of it, and it gives me anxiety. I will call a restaurant and say, hey, I'm running late, or I will call someone and say the same thing, or I will try to figure out a way to not rush, because whenever I do rush, it causes me to have so much anxiousness, and it just doesn't actually make me any more on time. The next out is gossiping about people that you do not know. I think that this is a common thing that people like to do, where they like talk about someone that they don't know, even if it's like a celebrity. I'm like not big on that. Granted, I love a little kiki with my girls, but I don't love the idea of like talking about people I don't know or making assumptions about people that I don't know. And I just don't like other people who do it. Whenever I notice that people are, trying to like draw up these like assumptions and perceptions and ideas of people that they do not know, they've never actually had a conversation with, or it's somebody that they barely speak to, I always know, okay, you're not my kind of person, because you don't give somebody the grace or the just time to show you who they actually are. You have created your own perception of their reality. And I just feel like that's a little bit ignorant and unkind. So not my thing, not going to engage in it, and not going to engage with people who do it. Okay, the next out for 2026 is lack of social awareness or spatial awareness. I was out last night with a friend, and this dude that was sitting next to me at the bar kept elbowing me while he was telling a story. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, like let me scoot my chair over so he stops literally hitting me. And in no part did he get up and apologize for continuously whacking me with his elbow. What are we doing, people? If I accidentally tap somebody or hit somebody, I would feel so bad. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and figure it out. But like lack of spatial awareness, not okay. Lack of social awareness, also not okay. There was a person to my right screaming at her man, and I'm thinking, girl, we are in public. Like, what is going on? It was a wild night. Granted, I love the vibes because it's giving chaotic energy, and every once in a while I need a little chaos to keep me feeling like, oh my goodness, this is why I stay inside most of the time. But it's fine. I actually enjoyed my evening. It was just quite a bit of characters out. That being said, get rid of it. Lack of spatial, lack of social awareness. What are we? Animals? Another out for 2026 is sloppy drunkenness. I don't love it. I don't love it, especially for myself, okay? Situationships. We're not bringing that into 2026. We're doing intentional dating or no dating. I am not trying to figure out what we got going on. You either know or you don't. Next up, dating ignorant people. I consider myself to be well educated in the sense that I am always educating myself on what's going on in the world, how to properly speak, what is appropriate and not appropriate to say. And I have definitely dated people, and I'll be the first to admit this, where they started off great and then they would say very like jarring or ignorant things in public. They would lack social awareness. They would lack just saying things properly, and they were just not politically correct about a lot of things. And although I do have a little bit of a threshold for like joking and things like that, not in matters that are important to me or that could really hurt someone else. So I don't want to date ignorant people in 2026, and I don't think anybody should. I think you should date people on your IQ level, okay? We're not begging in 2026. That's out. Not begging for love, not begging for attention, not begging for somebody to like us. We're not begging for somebody to choose us. We're not begging. Next up is underselling ourselves. We are not doing that in 2026 either. Know your worth, understand it, and advocate for yourself. I think for a long time I would struggle to advocate for myself because I didn't want other people to think that I was somebody amazing and that they weren't. No, but try to be able to understand that your time and your energy, it costs something. Okay, so the price goes up all of 2026. Start advocating for yourself and not underselling yourself anymore. Another out for 2026 is combativeness. I am not going to be dating somebody who goes tit for tat. I'm not going to be friends with someone who's going tit for tat. I do not like combativeness. There is a difference between healthy debates and playing devil's advocate versus somebody who is naturally combative, who always wants a fight, who always pokes the bear. I cannot stand that. It triggers me. It feels like I'm being rage baited 24/7, and I don't want my energy to be up and down all the time. And I think that a lot of the times people will blame you and say, you're too emotional, you're too crazy. But how come I'm totally normal when nobody does that to me? How come I'm totally normal when I'm having normal conversation with people and I'm having normal debates with people and I'm able to maintain a normal, even keel personality? It's when I feel like somebody is testing me, playing tit for tat, trying to always find like some sort of like reason for why they're doing what they're doing and not actually able to see my side. That I can't do. I am not going to have that part of my life in 2026. Another 2026 out is verbal apologies with little to no change behavior. You need to change your behavior for me to believe the apology, and preferably change it before apologizing. Granted, I think apologizing in the moment is a good thing, but a lot of people don't. So if you're going to come back to me with the bullshit, make sure you're laying out in front of me that your actions are different now. Another out for 2026 is offering too much grace. We do that a lot for people that we really want to keep in our lives, even though we probably shouldn't. No more. We're not offering grace, especially grace that is extended too much, because there is a difference between offering grace but still asking for them to be accountable versus letting people get away with things and them not being accountable. You can still offer grace and still want them to be accountable. Those two things can exist in the same space. So learning to do that will save you so much time in creating connections and community, because you'll know who to build with and who to let go, because certain people are not worth keeping around if they choose to not really be able to step up, rise to the occasion, practice reciprocity, and be what is needed for a healthy communicative relationship or partnership. And last but not least, for the outs is too much phone social clutter. Clear out those emails, clear out those pictures, put them on hard drives. I have always had so much stuff on my phone and it's overwhelming me at this point. So I'm getting rid of it, unsubscribing to everything that I don't need, and trying to like minimize and optimize everything. Okay, guys, those are my 2026 ins and outs. I love them. They're exactly what makes me feel like, okay, I'm a bad bitch. I'm ready to conquer this year. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. And it's important that we really get super specific about those types of things. Again, I would love to hear from you guys what your ins and outs are for 2026. And like always, I would love to hear from you when it pertains to Hail Mail. I am going to read the first Hail Mail of 2026. Let's get into it. Okay, I love this question. It's, what version of me has officially expired in 2025, and why was it necessary for me to let her go? I was thinking about this a lot today because I knew I was going to read this particular question. I think that what truly expired for me in 2025 is holding on to a painful emotion for an extended period of time, especially one that I know is going to come based off of somebody else's behavior. I think for many years, when somebody would disappoint me or when somebody would let me down, I would really let that dictate how I felt that week, that month, and about that person, rather than understanding that this is how this person shows up in my life. And a lot of the times it is what it is, and to release it. I am no longer allowing other people to dictate how I should feel, how I should perform, how I should love, how I should just be. And it has saved me a lot. It's just creating a healthy emotional space for myself to acknowledge that this is not how I personally would do something or handle something or how I would discuss something, but understanding that that's how someone else is and it should not affect me significantly. So that is something that has really been weighing on me in a beautiful way, where in 2026, I am no longer having expectations for others who I know are disappointing or that I just don't have enough data about to dictate how I emotionally show up, to dictate how I emotionally feel. I refuse. I want to be someone who's like, you know what? It is what it is. Let me give myself everything I need right now. So no longer having like erratic, reactive episodes, essentially, is what I mean. Okay, everyone, I hope you really enjoyed today's episode as much as I enjoyed making it. Make sure to send it to a friend, to a family member, to give it a big thumbs up, to rate the podcast. And I'm just so excited for what 2026 is going to bring for the Hail Yes podcast this year. And I hope that you guys are just as excited as I am. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Pioneer.